To all the people every single year who tune to Thorgiween to get some escapism from your real lives, I apologize for our next theme week, but I wanted to do something for this second theme week that was all topical. I wanted to do something that had to do with the horrible nightmare that has been 2020, and believe me, I could actually have done 2020 itself as its own theme week. I almost did. I actually had a couple films like listed down. I was like, okay, this ties into this terrible thing that happened. This ties into this terrible thing that happened. But no, I decided only to stick to one of the terrible things that happened this year. So our second theme week for the Post Shriek Out reaction this year is going to be not going anywhere for a while. It is going to be movies all about people who are trapped in a place that they cannot leave. Just like all of us in 2020. By the way, I'd like to take this moment to remind everyone, wear a mask, stay indoors, wash your hands, keep 6 feet apart. All those other things that you really should know by now you're supposed to be doing. Anywho, blah, there we go. Also, the dog would not leave my lap. Alright, so enjoy that little tiny head poking out over the bottom of the screen. Alright. But yeah, we have now been doing Thorgiween for so many years, and we've been reviewing so many movies. I've forgotten what movies we have and have not talked about before, because I would have put money down that we had reviewed this. I was positive we had reviewed this in previous year, but I checked around and I could not find this anywhere. It looks like no, we haven't. Which is actually good, because I really enjoy this film and you have never seen it. So I'm going to be very interested to hear what you have to say about this, because I remember I at least talked about this when we did our top 31 favorite horror movies. I at least brought it up then, so everybody knows I'm a big fan of this, and I will say, watching this again for the first time in a couple of years, yeah, it still stands up. In fact, in a weird way, it stands up better than ever now. It's got one thing in there that I think is a little bit goofy, which is how villainous the villain becomes. But aside from that, I think this movie still holds up. It also does have one particular thing that was a staple of 90s films that we've kind of outgrown, and we've got, you don't even know what I'm talking about. That we've kind of outgrown, and we've realized, yeah, it's not really all that right to do that so much in these films. But yeah, what did you think of this film?
I did like it. I didn't know what to expect because...
Okay. Did you even know what the premise of this film was?
Nope.
Oh, so you didn't know like anything about this movie? Oh, wow.
No, it's like, I just saw the title, The Cube, and it's like, oh, is this like the
Rubik's Cube?
The Rubik's Cube, or like the puzzle from Hellraiser? Is it gonna be like one of those kind of things? It's like...
The Cube, the most demonic of shapes. In a way, this kind of is the Rubik's Cube movie when you get to what the big twist is at the end.
You are inside the Rubik's Cube.
Yes. It kind of is. It's a puzzle. You gotta solve it. It shifts around.
Like, honestly, the opening, it reminded me of, like, those indie horror games you would find on Steam where you have to, like, solve puzzles to, like, escape wherever you're stuck in.
You have seen very different indie horror games on Steam than I have. Then again, I have the adult search turned on. Sorry, I'm joking, everybody. It was an easy joke. Yeah, I can see that. Oh, I actually know exactly which one you're talking about. Yes, I actually know the exact horror game that you're referring to. There's a horror game on Steam where it is you're literally just solving a puzzle. And it's just a giant cube thing that you're just solving around. Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, I can see that. Which, once again, just goes to prove my theory that there are good video game movies out there. They're just not based on video games. So... For anybody who doesn't know, this film, it stars, how many people? It stars roughly like five people. Yeah, 5, 6, depending on...
It depends on, like, what your idea of a main character is.
Yeah. Depends on how long they have to live in this film to count as a main character. But it stars this group of characters who they wake up inside of this cube, and they have to find themselves around.
And, like, each side, has like a door.
All 6 sides have a door,
like the floor, the ceiling, and all the walls.
Yep. And when they go out it will lead into another cube. And which, man, this must have been one of the cheapest films to make.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
They really only had to probably build like maybe like 3-4 rooms.
Like maybe not even like a full room, like one big room and then like half another room. And
yeah. Because the only thing that makes these rooms look different is that some of them will be white, some of them will be red, some of them will be green on the inside. And Peach, you gotta figure out where you're going. You gotta figure out where you're going.
That's the whole premise of the movie.
Yeah. Man, okay, there was a moment in this film in which they go into a room and, okay, some of the rooms are trapped. Some of the rooms are safe to go into, some of them have traps in there. And there was one moment in which they find a room in which it is sound activated, the trap, and if there are any sounds made, spikes come out from all angles. And I don't know why, but I just got this picture in my head all of a sudden of what it'd be like to try and go through that room with Peach.
Oh no!
With our dog. It's like, she would give us away in a second.
No.
She would get us all killed in that room.
Like, she would be so small that the spikes would die, like, miss her.
She'd be fine.
We would be dead.
No, I need you to open up the doors. I don't have thumbs.
Yes, you would get us all killed.
Yes. We've said that many times. Anywho. Oh, weenie. Fine. Okay. But yeah, so, and that's pretty much what the film is them trying to figure out where they are, why they're locked up in here, who each of them are, and how on earth they get out of here. And there's one person in there who they feel like they're going to be our protagonist, and he is a police officer, and he's trying to take control of this whole thing. There's another guy who works in an office building, and nobody knows why he's there. There's another guy in there who it gets revealed that he's a famous escape artist. He has escaped from numerous prisons. And then another person in there is a college student, but she is a math expert.
And there was like a
doctor.
Yes, a doctor, and
then there's another person who gets revealed later on. He's the last person to join their party, and he is somebody who he just is mentally handicapped. And he's got 90s movie mental handicap.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, if there's one thing in this film that has not aged well, it is that character. Yeah, it is. Because back in the 90s, I don't know if it started with Rain Man, I don't know where it started, but there was this idea of how people with mental handicaps acted, and every portrayal of a person with a mental handicap in a film acted that exact same way.
I mean, there are some people like that, but not everyone who is mentally handicapped is like that.
Yes, but everyone in a movie
Everyone in a 90s movie.
But also the other thing, and this is, okay, they also reveal everybody in there has a reason for being in there.
Yeah, honestly, this feels like something like Jigsaw would pull if he had a fuck ton of money.
Oh yeah. Yeah. This is like if Jigsaw was part of a secret society of rich people who just want to fuck with people. That's what this is. But everyone in there has a reason for being in there, and I'm not going to spoil what this character's reason for being in there is. But if you have seen a depiction of a mentally handicapped person in a 90s film, you know what his reason for being in there is, because again, it is a massive stereotype that was made in the 90s about people with mental handicaps, and it's just really offensive because it's almost like I know that it has like an actual term. I've seen it pop up on like TV tropes before, in which it's like people with mental handicaps almost have like a supernatural magical ability, and it's really offensive, honestly, to just come in here and make that kind of a depiction. And it's the one thing about this film that I have to look at and just go, oh, that does not hold up, and that is the biggest black spot in this entire film. And it's a shame because everything else in this movie is great. Everything else in this movie works so well. Yeah, because this film, they're going from room to room, and you never know what the next room is going to hold. And what's great is that originally they think they know how to tell what is and is not a trap. And eventually, as they move through it, they start to go, oh no, we're actually wrong, and we're still in great danger right now. but they still try and figure out ways into the rooms with whatever tools they have, because the only thing they have on them is their shoes and these like prison jumpsuits that they were given. And
but there was also like the college student's glasses.
yeah, and so there were like little clues they can pick up, like, well, the college student only needs these glasses to read, so why would they let her keep her glasses so that way she can possibly read something? It's almost like they're trying to give us clues about how to get out of here. But I really did enjoy seeing them try and figure out how to get from one room to the next past all these traps. And all they have are their shoes. So they're just trying to like set off motion detectors by like tying their shoelaces together and throwing stuff around. I like that because A, it shows them kind of being smart. Anytime that you can show characters in a horror movie being smart, I appreciate it. But also, with every room that they try and go into and the shoes get destroyed, that's more shoes that are lost. That's fewer chances that they have. That's fewer lives that they have, basically, in the big video game that they're trapped inside of. And yeah, I just found it really ingenious how, again, these guys, they had like one room that they shot everything in. Really, they only had like 2 rooms, and one for the room that they were in and one for whatever the next room is they were going into, so that way they could shoot the transitions. That's really all they had, and that was pretty much all they needed for this film. And I think they were able to do an incredible amount of stuff with a very small amount of resources. And a lot of the tension in this film comes from the human element of it. It doesn't even come from the fact that they are...
Like, it doesn't come from the booby traps.
Yeah, it doesn't come from them being afraid of, like, what's in the next room. It's that these people, they're getting tense. They're getting close to snapping. And, man, you really start to get attached to some of these characters, despite the fact that you don't even really know all that much about these characters. Like, the doctor. Seeing how tense the doctor was getting and talking about how like she hadn't smoked in forever, but she really needs to smoke now. I thought, man, that's a great little bit of a character bit in there to just give her. The guy who works in the office building, man, that guy, he has got a huge arc in this film. I really ended up enjoying his character, which, and I don't think it's. I think it's safe to say that you're not supposed to like that character originally.
Yeah, that's the thing is like, as soon as like the characters get together, it's like, oh, that's the protagonist, and that is the antagonist. But then as the movie goes along, you see like them show their true colors in a way. It's like, oh, you're not the protagonist, are you?
Yeah.
And you're not really the antagonist, are you? So it's like...
Yeah, when this film begins, you look at the cop and you're like, well, that's clearly the hero, man. Yeah, because, I mean, like, even just the voice that guy has, every line out of his mouth sounds like he's about to go on a monologue about how they're going to survive and get out of here.
Yeah, it's like, literally, like, his first words is like, I'm a cop. My job is to help everybody. So it's like...
Yeah, so it's like, okay, well, you're supposed to be rooting for him, but then again, this is 2020, so... Man, I thought the only thing topical about this film was going to be the fact that they were trapped in a place and couldn't leave.
Nope.
Oh, man.
Oh.
There have been so many terrible things in 2020 that they just forced themselves into other movies. Like a WWE wrestler just coming in off stage with a chair. Just came in. Yeah, like you look at that guy and you're like, well, he's clearly supposed to be the protagonist, and like that guy over there, the guy in the office building, he's the guy in every zombie film who's just like, why should I help other people in here?
Nihilist.
The nihilist. The guy was like, I'm out for me. That's it. I only care about me in here. That guy has got such a huge arc in this film. Holy crap! Did I end up liking him by the end of this?
Major redemption arc.
Yeah, big redemption arc. Or the college student. When this film begins, she's the one who just gives up. When this film begins, she's like, we're not going to move. We're just going to stay here. We're not going to do anything. She does not have that will to fight. And by the end of this film, she's the one like pushing to like, no, the end is in sight. Let's go, 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 go. Come on, come on, come on, come on. It is great watching how these characters change throughout this thing. Because, yeah, you know, as we already set it up, you're supposed to like the cop in the beginning. The cop becomes the villain of this whole thing. And one of the other, like I said, the big complaint of this film is that the guy with the mental handicap, his portrayal does not hold up these days. Mm-hmm. His portrayal these days is like, oh, that's actually offensive. But the cop, that guy is cartoonishly villain. That guy, oh my gosh. That guy might as well, like, as the movie goes along, he might as well get, like, a big twirling mustache.
Yeah, like devil horns start growing out of his head, like...
Like, he might, by the end of this film, he might as well just be walking around like goat legs. Like, he gets so evil. And it's not that he, like, turns evil. No. I like his actual progression.
Yeah.
The portrayal of the character, like, that dude is belting out every line like it is his audition tape for every movie that is to come after this. It almost feels like he is saying these things with so much, like, depth and seriousness to it. It's almost like the Old Spice guy commercials. You know how he says crazy things, but the crazy things he says are funny because of how serious he is when he's saying them? Same thing here, except just with very evil lines. So yeah, he's a little bit over the top. But even then, he's enjoyably over the top. I still, like, even when you're laughing at how crazy he is, you're like, oh man, he's crazy.
Yeah, it's like Jack Nicholson in...
Wow, yeah, wow.
in The Shining.
Very accurate, yes. By the way, can I just go ahead and say, the theme this month, the theme for this week, hi, cop collars outside. Yeah, the theme this week is people who are trapped in a place. I'm aware that The Shining and John Carpenter's The Thing are the two best examples of that. But we have covered those in the last 2 years. Yeah. So we're not going to do it.
We want to, like, cover movies that, like, we didn't go over and, like, maybe are not as well known, so.
Yeah, if something absolutely has to be repeated, we will do it. But we haven't hit that point yet. Although next year we might have to start doing some repeats. But yeah. So, I still, man, despite the fact that there are indeed some things in here that do not hold up, there's a lot of things in here that are amazing, and it's still, I've seen this film about 4 times. I think I enjoyed this thing more every single time that I see it. This thing, every single time that I watch it, it bumps itself up on my favorite horror movies list a little bit more. I'm just saying about that finale, and I'm not going to say anything, but I absolutely love that finale, and one of the final shots that you see, I'm not even going to say what it is, but it is what... There's a character who dies in here, and they don't...
Actually, there's quite a few characters who die in here.
There's quite a few, but this one character I'm thinking of in particular, you don't see them die, you just kind of see the remains of how they died. And all I can think is, man, during the 90s, during a time when you had to show everything, when they're like, yeah, we're going to get as gory and gross as we possibly can with all this stuff. They do not show you what has to be the goriest death in this entire film. They just kind of show you the after effects of this gory death. I thought that is the most effective death in this entire movie. That is great. I freaking love how this one character goes out. Wow, everybody outside decided to start making noises. I don't even know if you guys can hear.
Trains, and automobiles out there.
Yes. Anything else that you want to add to this?
No, I did enjoy it very much, so.
Great. All right, then. Well, that is it for the first day in our second theme week. Make sure that you come back tomorrow for another film set all in one location. I was going to make a joke about how you guys should stay in one place, but no.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Yeah, there you go. I was going to make a joke like that, but in all honesty, you guys shouldn't be going anywhere. You should be staying where you are. So just be safe out there, wear a mask, wash your hands, all that other stuff. And of course, as always, Happy Halloween.
Halloween. Bye.